Chapter 7 Landforms on the Earth. Let's know. Major landforms: mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts. Water bodies: oceans, seas, lakes, rivers. Many of my friends are going to some or the other hill stations in these summer vacations. Why is it so? Hill stations are located on the hills. Hills are at a height, so they have lower temperature than the plain area. Is it the same near the seas and oceans? No dear, coasts have moderate climate, neither hot nor cold. Landforms. Landforms are the natural features and shapes that exist on the face of the earth. Different landforms have different physical characteristics and spread throughout the earth. Examples of major landforms are mountains, plateaus, plains, and deserts. Mountains. Mountains are landforms rising high above the sea level. Smaller mountains are called hills. Mountains cover about 20% of the total land area of Earth. Mountains have very steep slopes. The highest point of a mountain is called a peak or a summit. A series of mountains is called a mountain range. Factopedia. The highest mountain range in the world is the Himalayas. Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak in the world. It is in Nepal. The height and shape of mountains depend on their age. The Himalayas and the Alps are young mountains. They are high and have conical peaks. The Aravallis and the Appalachian are very old mountains. They are low and have rounded peaks. Mountains often have a series of parallel ranges that are hundreds of kilometers in length. The Andes in South America and the Rockies in North America are mountains with parallel ranges. Importance of mountains. They act as a barrier against cold and hot winds. Water from the rivers originating from these mountains is used for irrigating the fields. The slopes of the mountains have rich supply of pasture for the cattle and valuable foresters. Some mountains are rich in minerals. Plateaus. Plateaus are flat areas higher than the surrounding area. They are also called tableland as they have a flat top. It has steep slopes. Many rivers and streams flow through the plateaus. They are usually surrounded by steep rock faces called cliffs. Some plateaus, like the plateau of Tibet, lies between mountain ranges. It is the largest and the highest plateau in the world. Plateaus are usually good for growing certain crops. Plateaus are formed when magma pushes up towards the surface of the Earth's crust. It does not break through but rises a portion, creating a plateau. Most plateaus are in dry regions and on the leeward side of the mountains. The climate of the plateaus is cold due to high altitudes. Some plateaus have deep canyons. For example, the Great Canyon is the Colorado Plateau. The growing season is short on the plateaus. Importance of plateaus. Plateaus having grassland for rearing sheep and cattle. Some plateaus are rich in mineral deposits. Plains. Plains are areas of flat land. They are also called lowlands. They usually meet the oceans or seas and are then called coastal plains. In India, we have the eastern coastal plains and the western coastal plains. Plains formed by the action of rivers are called river plains. For example, the northern Gangetic Plain in India is a river plain. The rivers carry sand and silt with them, and deposit them on their banks, forming the plains. Plains are thickly populated. Importance of plains. Plains are very fertile and good for growing crops. Most of the ancient civilizations developed on the banks of rivers on the plains. Big cities are located in plains because it is easier to build houses, buildings, roads, and other structures in the plains. Deserts. Deserts are large, dry areas of land that receive little or no rainfall throughout the year. There is scanty vegetation due to lack of water. Deserts are covered with sand. In the desert, days are very hot and nights are very cold. Dust storms are frequent. Huge hills of sand called sand dunes are formed. Oasis is a place in the desert where water is formed. It is surrounded by trees. Its climate is dry. Some of the deserts are Sahara Desert and Kalahari Desert in Africa, Great Sandy Desert and Great Victoria Desert in Australia, Thar Desert and Arabia Desert in Asia, Atacama Desert and Patagonian Desert in South America. Factopedia. Deserts are of two types, hot desert and cold desert. Hot deserts are covered with sand and cold deserts are covered with snow. Thar Desert, India, is a hot desert and Antarctica is the world's largest cold desert. Water bodies. Water bodies are area of water, both salt and fresh, large and small. They all are distinct from each other. The largest water bodies are oceans, while the smallest are streams. Let us know more about them. Ocean. Oceans are large salty water bodies. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean, which covers about 1/3 of the Earth's surface. It is flowed by Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean and Arctic Ocean in size. Oceans are large ecosystem. They provide food, fish, transport and navigation ships and play a huge role in water cycle. Seas. Seas are smaller than oceans. They are enclosed by landmass and connected to an ocean. The largest sea is the South China Sea. It holds hundreds of islands. The Caribbean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and Bering Sea are some of the other largest seas of the world. Seas are also a source of food and are used as transport lanes for ships. Lakes. Lake. Lake is a water body totally surrounded by land. A very large lake is sometimes called a sea, like the Caspian Sea in Central Asia, followed by Lake Superior USA, Lake Victoria Africa, and Lake Aral Russia. Lakes can be salty or freshwater. River. Rivers are freshwater bodies that usually originate in mountains or areas at high altitude. Streams and rain add water to them. Rivers are important for trade and transportation. Many settlements were built on the banks of rivers. Rivers also provide a source for generating energy. Factopedia. The world's largest river is Nile, Egypt, followed by Amazon River, South America, and Yangtze, China. Time to recall. Landforms are natural features and shapes on the earth. Mountains rise high above the sea level. Plateaus or tableland are flat areas higher than the surrounding areas. Plains are flat and fertile land. Deserts are large, dry areas with little or no rainfall. Oceans, seas, lakes and rivers are some important water bodies. New words. Leeward side of the mountain that gets little rainfall. Canyon, deep valley with steep sides. Summit, highest point of a mountain. Oasis, place in desert where water is found. Navigation, sailing of ships.